back on gaming. Yeah, we're back on gaming. If you notice, I'm not mad. I'm not frustrated. You know what I mean? I'm not angry. You know, whatever you want to label, you know, whatever I am every week. Actually, I could say I'm disappointed, but there's no point in being disappointed if the community just doesn't care. There's no point. There's no point in fighting for all this if you simply say, you know what? I don't give a shit about any of these things happening because I just want vidya. That's what you're saying. And you know what? You make the community look horrible when you do that. You know that. The integrity of this community, as it's been going on since the 80s, you know, has kept this intact for so long, but now you just don't give a shit about the community anymore. You just want your vidya. You don't care about your fellow gamer. You just want to bag on them. You want to, okay, all right. You just want to give these douchebag, you know, developers just their money. We'll talk about all of this thing. You know, I should really title this, What the Fuck Was You Thinking Edition, Community, because we're not even going to talk about SJWs today. Oh, no. I've seen too much dumb shit, I should say, in the previous week that I'm just going to stay away from it. So maybe next week, okay? Maybe. We're going to spare you from that. But you have to also understand that with these companies, I'm still going to give you the news with companies and what they're doing and how they're acting arrogant. But if it's not for the community letting them get away with this wouldn't happen. So this is all about community today. That's right. And things need to be explained, of course, because there are people who don't even have half a brain out there who don't realize what's going on. All right? That's right. And even if it's right in front of you, you're still going to try to find ways to defend it, which makes no sense. And that's the whole fanboy thing. We will talk about that, okay? But we're going to start off with the VGAs. Now, a lot of people ask me, Event, did you watch the VGAs? Are you watching the VGAs when it came on? And I said, hell no. I'm not watching that. You want to know why? Because I don't watch douchebags give other douchebags awards. That's why. I don't watch the ESPYs. I don't watch the Oscars. I don't watch any music awards. I don't watch any award show. Okay? However, after those shows are over and all this information comes pouring out, of course I'm going to speak on things. So we are going to start off with the problem number one with the community. Okay? Tim Schafer. That's right. We're going to talk about Psychonauts 2. Now, before I get started with this, I would like to say that there have been a number of people who have made videos saying, say no to Psychonauts 2. And all of a sudden, we see an outpouring of downvotes and fanboyish behavior, and how dare you say not give Tim Schafer your money, blah, 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 and they start fighting, and you know what? That is disgusting. Because you should know better by now to do that. It goes to show you, within the previous year, that Tim Schafer, the way he has acted, that you are willing to just let that all slide because vidya. That's why. You've got to be kidding. We've talked about this before, how, you know, gamers get very upset and outraged, and all you got to do is show them a shiny trailer, and they just forget all about it. Don't they? We've talked about this. So, before I go any further, I want to make it very well known that I have talked to gamers who have supported Psychonauts 2, and gamers, of course, who haven't, you know, and say, no, don't support it. Now, personally, I agree that you shouldn't support it, given the history of Tim Schafer, all right, and the ignorant statements he has said. I will talk about that in a minute, all right? But I have talked to those who have supported this, and they say, you know, they've sent me screenshots of stuff saying, hey, look, these guys are telling me I should die, I should drink bleach, I should kill myself, simply because I supported Psychonauts 2. Now, look, I won't go that far. That's absolutely horrible. You shouldn't be telling people to kill themselves simply because they backed the video game, okay? Gamers, you're going way too far on that. This is what I mean about gamers on each side that we've seen who have supported and jumped all over people for saying not supported, as opposed to people who are saying don't support it and you should die because of so. It's going way too far, okay? So for gamers who want to be considered adults, understand you look very immature right now. Not to mention, all right, that a lot of you, and like I said, the name calling isn't called for. I will go as far as to only call you naive if you're giving Tim Schafer your money. Now, in reality, if you see a guy who's horrible with mismanaging money, and, you know, this company is given their history, they're constantly missing deadlines, you know what I mean? They're horrible with with managing money, even though they're taking pictures of laying in bed with money and fanning themselves with money and things of that nature, and always think that they're your better, right? You would think that would tell you, this guy's bad with money, you know, I'm not going to give him my money when he asks for it. That's simple, right? But no, you're still giving your money because vidya, right? Now, I can understand if it was a friend or something, because, you know, let's be honest here, if your friend is bad with mismanaging money, needs help, you're going to have that sympathy. Hey, that's your friend, you know what I mean? You're going to give him. But you don't know Tim Schafer. That's the thing. You don't know him. And the things that he has said in the previous year, racist statements, and everyone agrees it was racist. Some say, well, it wasn't really racist, it was just a bad joke. I don't want to fucking hear it, alright? It was fucking racist. It was, alright? We've covered this stuff. And you let this guy say these type of things, and he gets away with it. You know what this does? When you sit here and you say such bad things, and you act like a fucking child, and then you give him money, you know what you're doing? You're just saying, it's okay that you acted like a fucking idiot. That's what you're giving him a free pass. That's what you're doing. Instead of him having to take that responsibility. That's what you're doing. Okay? With that being said, as we know, Tim Schafer left Kickstarter. We know that. And he went to FFVIII. And people, for those who don't know, Prion just did, not too long ago, he did a video, a quick video on Twitter about it, brought to light that the fact that, the interview that Tim Schafer had, they asked him why he jumped ship, and he just vaguely, just forgot to talk about the fact that he's an advisor over there at VIG. And so he benefits from all that. For those who don't understand what's going on, you know what that means? For those who still are lost in the sauce here? Tim Schafer is hustling you! Yeah. 3.3 million. But that's not all, alright? Because Tim Schafer, alright, for those who don't know, gamers, Psychonauts 2 funding has passed $2 million already. Already. So let me get this straight. Games like Indivisible, who are having struggling times, giving you a lot more content, can't make goal at times. You see all these games that have a lot of passion behind it. Can't do anything. Tim Schafer comes around, asks for your money again after failing with your money again, whereas other companies have done Kickstarters and have not failed you. Okay? Fails again. We've seen guys, make defenses for the lack of quality in his previous games. I'm telling you, the things that I've seen this week is just absolutely ridiculous. But that's not all. You still want to say, I'm going to give Tim Schafer my money. That's what you want to say. Okay, so since you're still standing by, giving money to Psychonauts 2, even though he's asking for so much, and the fact that he's an advisor over there because he's hustling you still don't see it, well, then explain to me, like I said, because Tim Schafer's the type of person who would easily do anything for money. And if you don't believe me, here's Tim Schafer saying that he'll play a professional victim just for money. Nothing like desperation, huh? Look. Let's get something straight here. Let's not forget that Tim Schafer is also using the block bot. So I want to break this down for you, okay? We've got Tim Schafer, who is saying that he's being harassed, so he's going to be a professional victim and get money from that. Then go on stage and ask the very same people that he's blocking for money. Okay. Okay. Nothing wrong here, though, right? You have to understand that when you see the actions of an individual like this, all right, that you make sure that they have consequences to them. And with gamers just running out of fray, and don't tell me it's not a big deal. Oh, it's a big fucking deal, okay? Because like I said, if you're sitting here doing this, you're advocating his behavior. That's what you're doing. I thought that we were past this after the Devil May Cry thing, because, Tamim did the same thing, not asking for money, but bagged on gamers, and then turned around and said, you should still buy our product. Cliffy B did the same thing back in the day, and bagged on gamers and said, you should still buy my product, even though he told you to suck a dick. I have to, like I said, the integrity of this community right now is at an all-time low as far as I'm concerned. And it's sad to see that such things would happen. Like I said, as you know, I'm not upset. No. There's, like I said, no point of being upset. Because if this is how you're going to act, then there's no point in me fighting for you. You know what I mean? And then you're going to have people say, well, no one asked you to fight for it. No, I fight for this community because I love this community. But it seems like the community doesn't love itself enough for me to say, to stick my neck out anymore. It's not worth it. It's not. You've got to be kidding me. But there's more news. I will say this, alright? VGAs, for those who don't know. Konami bans Kojima. Kojima from the VGAs. Look, developers, they spoke out. Alright? They did. They spoke out. And they were very upset the fact that Konami would do something like this. And, of course, gamers were saying, I'm going to walk away from Konami from now on. That's done. Now, after what we've just seen with Tim Schafer, I don't think that gamers are going to walk away completely. I think if Konami comes back with something really hardcore, you know what I mean, and tries to please the fans, they'll come back. They'll come back. because that's what gamers do. For some reason, this day and age, gamers give companies who act like this a second chance. I do find it funny that even though developers, voiced their displeasure, and did not agree with this move, none of them were like, we're not going to do business with Konami. And I say this due to the fact that if you think about it, if Konami would treat someone like Kojima, who's been loyal to them for over the years, and is an icon in this industry, if they're treating him like this, what makes you think they won't treat you like this? And I say this to developers, and I say this to fans as well. They don't care. But, of course, they didn't go that far because it's business. You still want to keep the avenues open for business. At some point, someone's got to have enough fucking guts to say, you know what? Fuck you. We don't need you. Oh, wait. They do, but they do that towards gamers. Developers do that towards gamers. They block gamers. They call you a bunch of crybabies. They call you everything under the sun, and yet you still go crawling back to them. Okay. So they got the heart to alienate the people who give them money, but not the people that you really don't need at this point that's not putting out any quality. Okay. Alright. I want to talk about the FGC. I told you, everything's going to be about communities today due to the fact that just the way people are acting. Okay. As we know, King of Fighters 14 is coming. Yes, and there's fans who are hype about it, and there's other fans not so hype about it. We've seen so many mock-ups of Andy since we've seen what Andy looks like, the way they've made him. He looked like they photoshopped him on the cover of Tekken 2 because he looks like, and when you look, it's like, yo, he does look like he belongs to Tekken 2. It's hilarious, but King of Fighters 14 is coming out. I'll put a link in the info bar for everything that we know so far about this game. It is not a dream match. This is actually a continuation, which means some douchebag is going to try and take over the world, because that's what they always do in King of Fighters, but, okay. Anyways, we'll see how this goes so far, but, a lot of people are saying it looks better now. It's a lot more polished than what we've seen before. Others are still not happy about it, okay? Also, in more news, Arc System Works is bringing 5 games to Steam in 2016. So, Steam people, that's right, PC, you are getting Guilty Gear, Xrd, or say Xrd, whatever. You're getting Guilty Gear. You're getting Melty Blood, which I think I'm going to be picking up. Blaze Blue, of course. Was it Extend? Was it Under Night and Birth, which I already have for the PS3, which is a great game. Seriously, it's coming. Also, and you know what? Out of all these fighting games that everyone's very hype about, the one game that's not a fighting game, I'm the most excited about. River City Super Sports Challenge. For those who don't know, it's like Super Dodgeball. Back in the day, you had River City Ransom and things of that nature. Anyone who's played these games from back in the day, they were great games. They were entertaining games. You could spend hours playing these games with friends. I am very happy for that game. Out of all the games that, all those fighting games, and they leave that out there, I'm like, yo, the first thing I will probably get is that. But Melty is on the list as well. You know what I mean? But let's move on. Let's talk about Street Fighter V. Yeah, let's talk about Street Fighter V. Community, I need some answers here. Maybe we can, pick this apart. Maybe we can pick each other's brains and figure out what Capcom is trying to do here. Because I have no fucking idea at this point, okay? So, Street Fighter V final launches character and DLC has been revealed. A lot of people are very upset that Guile is a DLC, he should be a main guy, things of that nature. And of course, gamers are saying, well, you know what? They said that you'll be able to get, all the DLC in-game if you just work hard at it, right? So, everyone should be calm, right? Real calm. Until, that's right, Capcom announces Street Fighter V Season Pass. So, if we can get all these characters within in-game currency, what's the point of a Season Pass? Is this simply for the people who don't want to work hard so that they can just pay out money and just say, hey, this is what we get? But it's a Season Pass, so you're paying up front anyway, and you would be getting as it goes along. Now, here's the thing with Season Pass. We know that there's a number of Season Passes already out, and people are already pissed off. With this Season Pass, I'm going to say it right now. Mark my words, all right? Say it now. Write it down. I don't give a shit. We got to put it on the calendar. Whatever, all right? Street Fighter V, because you were putting out the Season Pass, this game's longevity is looking to push at least three at minimum, 3 years to 5 years. That's what I'm going to say. Because of the DLC that's going to be coming down the line. That's how I see it, all right? Season Pass. So, is this for the casual people that don't want to spend the time? Or is Capcom really going back on their word about not having to pay for anything? That's the question that we pose here right now. Alright? With that being said, I want to move forward. Maybe this will give us a little bit more insight on what's going on with the casual crowd when it comes to Street Fighter V. Maybe that's why they have the season pass. For those who don't know, Ono comes out and says that it's Street Fighter V, and I want you people who play Street Fighter and are hardcore and you think it's going to be competitive, I want you to listen to this, okay? Street Fighter V lowers the bar for entry as much as humanly possible. That's right. Ono says he hopes to reset the competitive playing field with Street Fighter V. They want to bring more people in that are casuals because, as we know, bringing in more casuals will equal more money. That's what it means, which means you'll probably get more DLC and the season pass and all that stuff. So you have to understand. Now you have to ask each other, how competitive will this game be? And of course, people who are very versed in these games, you have to say, well, regardless on how competitive it's going to be, pro players are going to pro. They're going to go pro and they're going to dominate. You know what I mean? So the question is, if you're going to lower the bar so low, and the thing is, people are saying, well, we haven't seen this bar lowered so long, for this game for so long. Do I need to remind you people that Street Fighter 4 was really low at one point? We just saw a bunch of nobodies. I mean, seriously, if you've been in the fighting game community for years, and you know the names, and then when Street Fighter 4 came on the scene, it was like, who the fuck is this guy? Who's this guy? But you say, you know what? You need new blood. You know what I mean? You need new blood to come in. But then you saw people start to skyrocket, and it was like, oh, you're all of a sudden a legend. What? No, you're not. You're not. Stop that. You know what I mean? Like, it made no sense to me. When it came to Street Fighter 4, you know what I mean? Its iteration started coming out. I felt the bar was very lower. But you know what? I will say, Street Fighter 5 is looking better. It's looking faster. You know what I mean? There's a number of things that I feel as though Street Fighter V has the advantage right now as opposed to Street Fighter 4. But when I see these things in Street Fighter V, I say to myself, this is the stuff that could have been fixed in 4. You didn't need 5 to fix it. But, what? Whatever. You know what I mean? Also, in more news, and I want you esports guys to listen up, because I've been saying this for how long, and you kept fighting me on it, saying, no, it can be done. It's okay. And I said no, because that's not how companies work. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Capcom won't let YouPorn sponsor player wear site's logo during the Capcom Cup. That's right. So if you're sponsored by YouPorn, you are not going to be able to put that on stream, TV, whatever. Your logo won't be able to see because you should know by now that you can't put those things on TV or on stream because they still see it as taboo. This is what I tried to talk to you about before, esports fans, did I not? I showed you this at EVO when the guy was wearing a shirt that says, nigga, I said, you know what, they can't put that on TV. You can't. When you're seeing ESPN try to, to air esports and all these places trying to air it at this nature, you cannot wear anything that will be even slightly offensive. You can't. Because it's family TV. You're trying to bring in as many ratings as possible from random people as much as possible so that you're hoping that parents are letting their kids watch it and the kid says, I want that game. So they can generate more dollars. That's how it works. Like I said, you don't see players, football players, basketball players walking around, YouPorn shirts and carry on the court, do you? No, they have standard stuff as well. But when I tried to talk about that a couple years ago about having standard wear from sponsors, you jumped all over me about it. Isn't that amazing? And yet, when you jumped all over me about sponsors and and having standard wear, you were the same people complain that sponsors don't give you enough money for your travel or things of that nature. We will talk about this more. Yeah, we will. But before I, talk about it more, if you think I'm being harsh right now about things, maybe we should listen to Colin Cowherd again. That's right. For those who don't know, Colin Cowherd has come out for a third time now and is bagging on esports and the fighting game community.
Time for another esports update. Now, I've had a little bit of a tete-a-tete.
You have an update for me?
I know. This is the sport where people play video games and thousands, hundreds of thousands pay to watch. This is an event, the Capcom Pro Tour, which is very popular, and generally British accents make everything sound more sophisticated, although not here. Go ahead, roll the tape.
Infiltration got no way at the moment of chipping him out from there.
Oh, oh my days! Mr. Me!
Oh!
I go! Oh,
he's got the setup!
Oh!
So anyway,
what do you have to say about that?
Well, here's the tour dates. I thought I would put the tour dates on the screen for our audience of the esports This coming to a basement near you.
No, it's like arenas and stadiums that are sold out, but okay.
Oh, it is? Okay. This is how Christine spends her weekends. That's the Capcom Pro Tour, highlights of their schedule.
Looks like some pretty amazing look. I mean, I should go. San Francisco, France, Japan, Sweden, Brazil, Italy. I mean, I should just go.
Yeah.
Do you want to come with me?
I'm very busy that month.
You know, at this point, it just looks like desperation. Let's be honest here, Colin Cowherd. You've been doing this for about what? We're going about month 3, month 4 maybe now that you've said that you've hated video games. You do a radio talk show, all right? A radio talk show, which Fox Sports 1 stupidly, signs you for, on air, because no one really wants to see what you look like. Come on, that's why you're in radio. But let's be honest here, okay? You only do this at this point to get a rise out of people. This is typical shock jock ethics. Now, look, if you want to call it ethics, I will put it like this. For those who don't know how radio works, all right? You have your guys who are sitting there talking, and they're not really saying much, because Colin Cowherd doesn't know much about sports anyway. But you also, what you don't see on camera, is that there's a soundproof booth over there with a technical advisor, all right? Now, that technical advisor, that's the person 9 times out of 10 that's giving Colin Cowherd this news, okay? They get this news, they got to set it up, as you see, roll the tape and all that type of stuff. They got to set all that up, all right, before he even comes in, they try to talk about it before going on air, set it up, get it in the studio. You have to understand that there's more people at play in this than just Colin Cowherd. Now, as you can see at the bottom of the ticker, coming to a basement near you, the graphic actually says it. You have to understand that this is them trying so hard, all right, to get ratings, to get a rise out of somebody. That's what it is. Now, Christine, I have to talk about her for a minute, because when a woman, Colin Cowherd, asks you if you want to go to France, if you want to go to Brazil, Japan, Brazil, I mean, that's pack your swimsuit, and you say no, really? You say no? Because I'll put it like this. Though Christine is somewhat, dare I say, airheadish, because you have to be crazy to sit there and say, ha, that's funny, Colin, that's how she acts throughout most of the show, okay? But if you think that you're going to sit there for hours, and let's put it like this. You sit there for a couple hours and you can watch some esports as opposed to spending, and as she said, the month, because you're saying, oh, I'm busy that month. Or the weekend, well, this is how she spends her weekends. How do you spend your weekends? I'm just wondering. I'll talk about that in a minute, Colin Cowherd. But, you just went and just downplayed her right there. But when an attractive woman asks you to go away for the weekend or for the month or whatever the case may be, you say no, that's a problem right there. There's a problem right there, okay? But yet you have the nerve to call gamers a bunch of nerds, a bunch of losers, being very antisocial. Now, for those who don't remember last time, when Colin Cowherd came out and said something, all right, I went on Twitter, and for those who follow me on Twitter, I challenged him to basketball. I said, well, because all video gamers are weak, pathetic nerds, let's ball. Let's do it. I said, and then afterwards, after I blow you out in basketball, we'll play a video game. We'll play Under Night or Guilty or whatever you want to pick, and I'll destroy you in that as well, to show you that you can do everything in moderation. You can do that if you want. Of course, he ducked, and as you see, he's crying again, so you ducking, you crying, but, I find it funny that this is the route you have to go, because if you don't talk about video games on your sports show, it's one thing if you detest video games and you're still talking, in the culture of video games. But as we know, this guy doesn't like video games. So as far as I'm concerned, if you're talking about video games every once in a while in your sports show, there's a problem. Yes, you're desperate. It almost makes me feel as though you're in the closet, you secretly like video games. That's what it makes me feel like. But I put it like this. What grown man has a problem with people? Because let's be honest, they're just video games. People are just getting together at tournaments and they're playing. Who are they harming? Nobody, right? They're harming no one. So why is this a big deal for him? It goes to show you that the priorities, once again, are just not there. That you just need something to complain about. But you cannot tell me a grown man would sit here and complain about video games and try to run gamers under the bus, or I should say just throw them under the bus, when you admitted on Monday that you're a fan of the Backstreet Boys. And you know what, Cowherd? You would fit right in with fanboys here in gaming. You would be accepted in this culture, because I have said time and time again that fanboys are comparable to boy band groupies. You fit right in. Congratulations. But I put it like this, Colin Cowherd. If you didn't take this time to bag on video games and you were actually positive about this type of stuff, they would consider you great. I mean, hell, all you had to do at that point was name drop Evo and Final Round, and you two could have been a legend. You could have. But you just walked away. It's sad. Look, I put it like this. When you have a guy like this complaining, like I said, in a completely different genre, all right, about video games, and you're ducking actual challenges from gamers, on sports, mind you, and you actually hadn't, at last time, you hadn't a professional athlete, talk to you about this, and you still decide to go this route. It goes to show you that you are so desperate for ratings. It's sad. But here's some more news, esports fans. A professional League of Legends team was nearly sold for $1 million. That's right. So now we're selling teams to, other owners, which we also see in professional sports. But once again, esports fans, the people that you cheer, are they being sponsored correctly? Do they have that insurance? I'm talking health insurance. Do they have, look at these things for what they are. Seriously, it's one thing, oh, you're popular, oh, you won some money, let's take some pictures of you and put you, splash your face out there. But are you getting the benefits that real athletes get? That coverage. That's what it's about. Seriously. Because, if you want to make a career out of this, and you want to say you want to be professional and be just like sports, why haven't you I keep asking this, and no one can ever give me a straight answer. No one. I do find it funny, though, the fighting game community, that, of course, at this point, it's a little bit late now, because I'd say just ignore him, because obviously he's trying to get a rise out of you. But you should also know that at one point somebody should have had said something by now. They should have. You know what I mean? He could have easily had a debate with somebody other than a professional athlete on there. He could have brought someone on his show. Chose not to, right? Exactly. Like I said, it just feels like he just wants to complain about things that clearly are not relevant. I should say, in that realm of sports. And I say this because, let's be honest here, when your base is covering football, hockey, NBA, soccer, whatever, and then you turn around and you take your segment, you take time out of your segment to bag on games, it goes to show you that you have nothing else better to do. You don't have any more content. You could have filled that with something else, something actually very important, something positive in the sports community. But you didn't do that, did you? There's a reason no one listens to you. There's a reason. But I want to thank everyone for, sending me that video and letting me know what was going on, because it goes to show you how pathetic, how very small he is. But let's move on. Like I said, esports fans, like I said, if you want this to be as professional as possible, you're going to have to step your game up. You're going to have to. Like I said, you got to watch what you wear, make sure you're sponsored, make sure you have your benefits, things of that nature. Take the adult route. You have to understand, play the game for what it is. Literally, play their game, and then be 10 steps ahead of it. Still waiting for some type of association, some type of players union for these type of sports so that you make sure that you're covered. But they don't want you unionizing, right? Let's move on. More Capcom news. Resident Evil 2 Remake is a rebuild from the ground up. We shall see, Capcom. We shall see. Also, we need to talk about this because EA, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to say it with any type of tone. EA and their bullshit. How about that? All right? The sequel to Star Wars Battlefront is coming already. Sequel's coming and could have a single-player mode. So, EA didn't give fans single-player mode first one. Now you're talking about giving it to them this time. And fans will eat this up. Why? Because you keep letting companies get away with it. That's why. You could be pushing still for EA to add single-player mode into into this current one. But no, you're going to have to wait until a sequel. And there's more news. Mass Effect Andromeda will be released in 2016. However, there's a conflicting report saying that it'll come out in 2017. But EA says, and I want you to hear this. I want you to listen really, really carefully. EA is embarrassed on how good its 2017 lineup is. Peter Moore says, it's an embarrassment of riches. It's a high-class problem to have. See that, gamers? Remember when companies didn't have to brag? Remember when companies didn't act cocky and act arrogant and say, hey, we got all this stuff. Games don't come out till 2017, but they're saying, you're going to buy this shit anyway, and we're going to celebrate it right now. in 2015. 2 years away, but they know that you're going to buy it because you can't get enough. And they're going to act as, man, if you can't tell me that's about as arrogant as it gets, come on now. Come on. There's one thing to look at projection charts and see that, who would buy things statistic-wise. But for you to come out in 2015 and say it's a high-class problem to have, and we're embarrassed. We're embarrassed by the riches that are coming our way in 2 years. That's crazy. That is just insane. But you're going to let them get away with it. Let's move on. Let's talk about Final Fantasy VII, shall we? Yes, right. As we know, Square's playing Corrupted-Wish right now. Final Fantasy VII, the remake looks okay. It's been years. I want to bring this up. It's been years due to the fact that it's been years since gamers have kept demanding Square to give us a remake, And Square has said, okay, we'll give you a remake, but, these are the things. First off, Final Fantasy VII is using the Unreal 4 engine. All right? I don't think many people are going to have a problem with that. All right? Because for what we've seen so far, it looks pretty promising. It looks good so far. We will see what happens. And then they announced that this is going to be episodic. Okay? And not as episodic content, piece after piece. I kind of figured what they meant was they're going to give you a portion of the game as a full game and then keep doing it. So they're going to do you like Final Fantasy 13 and keep giving you piece after piece after piece. With this being said, we know that the way Square is doing this and trying to pretty much nickel and, because let's be honest, nickel and dime the shit out of you. I know there's people who are going to say in their defense, it's so big, it's so massive, they can't fit it all on one disc. That's what people are going to say. That's their defense. And while that could possibly be true, could be, you should know that it doesn't need to be that large scale. It doesn't. But people are going to say bigger is better. Not always. Sometimes it's about quality. And sometimes smaller, the better. But with that being said, of course there were jokes going back and forth. I even made a joke saying, you know what, at this point, when you go to the Golden Saucer, they're probably going to make you spend real money. They probably will, because, let's be honest, it's Squaresoft, well, I should say Square Enix, I'm sorry. Squaresoft, when they did make quality, was great. Now, it's dead. But, anyways, there's more. There's more news on Final Fantasy VII that, they'll be getting assistance from CyberConnect 2. That's right. And other companies may be involved. So, this is not just a Square Enix project. This is a multiple collaboration of companies. Now, with that being said, I want to take this time out to destroy any type of bias when it comes to, West versus East and comes in developing. As you can see, Final Fantasy VII, when you have a number of developers that are helping out, this is a collaborative effort, which means this is something that you just don't say, hey, well, what that guy call himself, a Westernist? This is from the East. We're just going to absolutely just destroy it. We're not even going to touch it. No. It goes to show you that if developers can come together like this and, can make a great product, gamers should also come together, put their differences aside, their biases aside, and say, hey, look, this is going to be, maybe a great game. Also, for those who don't know, people say, PS4, it's also stated that this is also going to be for the Xbox One. So they won't be missing out as well. All right, they won't be missing out. For what I've seen so far, Final Fantasy VII, I think it'll sell. I think gamers right now, because of what we're seeing, gamers are upset because it's not going to be on one disc. It's not going to be a full game. They're going to break it down game after game after game. God knows how they're going to shoehorn Lightning in because, let's be honest, it's Square Enix. That's what we're used to right now. They're shoehorning Lightning in somewhere. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll just put a picture on a wall or something, but they're going to shoehorn her in somewhere. But the fact is, all right, it's going to happen. I do want to say that I think that gamers are going to complain about this and then still buy it, and they're still going to have it. I think the game is still going to be successful for what we're seeing right now. As far as I'm concerned, I say give them some more time. As you know, shiny trailers, that's what happens. People are going to forget about a lot of things. Well, I'm against this, but I don't know now. That's how it goes. Like I said, they did it with Tim Schafer. You're going to do it with Final Fantasy VII. So, but in more news, when it comes to, kneeling down to people, when it comes to the companies. Like I said, these companies can keep getting away with these things because, gamers keep letting them. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, let's talk about this real quick. $1 million, huh? So, you just couldn't help yourselves, huh? You knew that it was a setup. You knew that they were going to get you with this. You knew it was wrong, and you still went and paid for it. And what I mean about this is how it, affects down in line in the future with other games and other companies, because let's be honest here, monkey see, monkey do when it comes to companies. Let's talk about this right now. Destiny's future isn't anchored by paid expansions. Now, mind you, when you have these type of games, that's what you got. You want a full expansion so that you can say, hey, I spent my money and this is great, right? Because you got your quality worth. No. Destiny's future is in microtransaction-based events. That's right. So every time a based event comes out, they're going to make sure that they nickel and dime the shit out of you in Destiny. But that's not all. Just not too long ago, Destiny's new racing mode offers microtransactions. So I'm sure you're going to pay for that too, huh, gamers? The community just doesn't care anymore. They don't. You are just going to abide by whatever they throw at you at this point. There's no fighting. There's no backbone. There's no nothing, huh? There's nothing. You're just going to buy it. And the thing is, if you go back in like 2010, you always said free-to-play games, you could always, make that, generate that money when it comes to, to microtransactions, things of that nature, so you don't have to pay a monthly fee. However, these are games you don't pay a monthly fee for unless you're paying for online, which, let's be honest here, all right, it's online, all right, but not a specific fee for them, and then they get you with microtransactions, even though they're still going to hit you with expansions, too. They got the field covered, man. And y'all just falling for it. Okay, let's move on. Nintendo says it won't abandon the Wii U fan base. Because, due to the NX coming out, I'll believe it when I see it. Alright, how about that? Because as far as I'm concerned, things that I've seen right now, people are very upset the fact that Nintendo would even think that. And even though they came out and said, we're not going to, we're still Wii U, we'll see how long they support it. Because you know what? Sony said the same thing. And they just pretty much abandoned, it's been, 2 years? They've pretty much abandoned the PS3, as opposed to the PS3 and how long the longevity was for the PS2. Okay? They've abandoned that. The Xbox, as we know, they've abandoned the 360. But now they're trying to make up for it and try to go backwards compatibility. We know, but come on, let's be honest here. Developers, not just, the companies, but the developers in general, third-party developers, have pretty much abandoned the PS3 and the 360. And Nintendo just doesn't get anything at this point. It's kind of sad. We'll talk about that in a bit. More Nintendo, I believe. I actually want to just talk about right now. Minecraft is coming to the Wii U. And a lot of people are saying, well, it took you long enough. I believe it did take long enough. Just saying. But let's move on. I want to talk about something that's actually pretty funny. Namco. That's right. Namco and Hooters. That's right, Hooters. Team up for a new Japanese arcade. Not only that, all right, Namco is making cola-flavored chips as arcade prizes in Japan. I am in the wrong country. I am in the wrong country. You've got to be kidding me. Look, Hooters and that. Look, anyone that still wants to scream misogyny, I don't see you saying anything about this. No. Don't see you say anything at all, because it's in Japan. But as we know, developers, slowly but surely, are censoring a lot of games, you know what I mean, that have to come to the West. Some even said they're not even going to bring the games over. Never bring games over. This reminds me of 2000, I'm going to say about 2001, 2002. Maybe we'll talk about that in the future. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it right now due to the fact that, like I said, I don't want to get into the whole identity politics type thing. I don't really want to get into it. But if we're going to talk identity politics, here's the funny part. This is the only thing I'm going to say. Going Home, or whatever it was, Going Home, is coming to the Xbox One and the PS4 after being canceled before. Now, here's the thing. I've seen on Twitter a lot of people say, Gone Home it's coming to the PS4 and Xbox One, so I guess now gamers who are against this, they're just going to stop playing their consoles altogether because it's tainted. Not really. I haven't seen anyone complain about this game coming to the PS4 or Xbox One. So when people say that, I'm just like, what? Like, it's a game. You just don't pay for it. What's the problem? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand where they get this. Or is it that you're just trying to create drama? Is that it? You think that, I'm going to stick it to them. Actually, I haven't seen anyone complain about it. I don't think anyone really cares. Personally, I don't care. So, anyways, let's move on. Ni no Kuni, that's right, has been announced as a PS4 exclusive. Now, as you know, this one was on the PS3 or whatever before, and it's a great game, level 5. They've always put out a lot of quality stuff. Some people will probably question White Knight Chronicles 1 and 2. I actually like the first one. But you know what? That's another game that no one ever talks about. White Knight Chronicles, with these White Knights, or you actually have to say the princess. No one ever talks about that. No one talks about that. But, it's alright. It's alright. It's okay. But it's a PS4 exclusive, and as you know, Sony is they're just racking up exclusive after exclusive after exclusive. I would say, personally, still, I am not sold on the PS4. They really have to fix their network for me to buy one. That's how I feel. However, games-wise, they're actually starting to, they're announcing some good games, and it's starting to get the ball rolling now. So we are seeing this. Before they didn't have any games, they were so worried about remasters and bringing PS3 games over to the PS4. Now they're actually announcing some quality games, so we will see what happens, all right? Also, in more news, Dark Souls 3, that's right, has release date and is confirmed, and a new trailer has been revealed. I've watched the trailer, and actually it looks a little bit faster. Some people were saying it looked like it took some elements from Bloodborne to make the game faster. This game looks great. It looks amazing. Like if you're going to, I'll put it like this. If this game is going to be the end-all, be-all for Dark Souls, go out with a bang. And right now, it's looking like it's going to go out with a bang. So I'm really happy to see that. Also, in last bit of news, Telltale Games has announced Batman. That's right. They've announced that they're going to be working on Batman. Once again, I really don't care. I really don't. I mean, The Walking Dead. I haven't finished The Walking Dead. I tried to upload Walking Dead, another episode of Walking Dead, but was it Elgato, the software for it, and other people have confirmed this to me because they've tried it as well. It bugged out on them and it keeps glitching and it keeps messing up. So I have to wait for a software update so that so I can give you another episode. But Telltale, right now, I've said a couple months ago that they were kind of on my shit list, and that after The Walking Dead, after this season of Walking Dead, I was pretty much done with it because of the people that they advocate, you know what I mean, online. And I like I said, for me, once again, it's one of those things where it's priorities, all right? Video games do not come first as opposed to the way these people are acting. And if you advocate those type of actions, then fuck you. And if you have a problem with saying, oh, that's guilty by association, guess what? Fuck you too then. Because you know what, as far as I'm concerned, if someone is acting racist, or someone's acting to the point where it's so ignorant where you should know, look, this is absolutely wrong, you don't advocate that. You don't say, oh, you know what, I'm going to keep them on my side and keep talking to them. No. It's one thing if someone's trolling, and you know they're trolling because, trolling, as opposed to someone who really means this shit. So yeah, if we're going to go by the guilty association route, yeah, I'll say that shit. Now what? It's probably about as angry as I'm going to get today. Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't think it's right. If our community, once again, do I need to say this? Do I say it for a fucking week? If our community or our industry is going to get better or be progressive, you have to start acting like adults. I find it really fucking funny that everyone is saying gamers need to grow up or games need to grow up. And then when you have all these games that are coming out with somewhat adult content or some type of sexy woman on it or showing a little bit of cleavage, you're quick to fucking censor it. You're quick to bitch and moan. I thought you wanted to be grown up. I will put it like this. The ESRB, the ratings board, already shuts everything down when it comes to your claims. This game is too sexist. This game is immature. This game is too violent. This game is adult only. Why don't you understand? They made this for this reason. So for you to complain about, what we're seeing now? Armika, she had an ass slap. They're censoring it. So you have one side getting so upset that it's been censored, and, let's be honest here, it's the principle of it. All right? And you got another side saying, yeah, we did right by making them censor it. You don't even play the fucking games. You want control of something that you don't even participate in. Where have we seen this before? Yeah. All those talking heads like Jack Thompson and all those media outlets. It's the same thing over and over again. And the gaming industry definitely is responsible for this. For everyone who wants to call themselves an adult. Everyone needs to start carrying themselves just a little bit better than what they are as far as I'm concerned. It's absolutely ridiculous. You say, yeah, guilty by association. Yeah, I'll say that shit. See, here's the difference, all right? I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to backtrack on shit. If I think it's guilty by, if you want to call it guilty by association, then yeah, I'm going to say that shit. It's guilty by fucking association. It is. All right? Like I said, when I see these people say such horrible, nasty, inhumane things online, and you still want to sit here and you want to pander to that? Then fuck you. Loss of sale. That's how I feel. Anyone got a problem with that? Too bad. Like I said, there's no way you can say, like I said, it's one thing for trolling, okay, because for laughs and whatever. Then you have these, like I said, you have these people who really believe in this shit. We've seen so many problems in this community in the previous year. All right, the way people have communicated with each other, We've seen people dig into other people and see that, they're pedophiles and things of that nature. And it's not hard to dig up because you find out that they say this shit online. It's coming out, now. And people still follow them or they defend them to the end. And it's like, how do you defend that? Is it because you're so dedicated to your narrative that you can't you stop and look and say, hey, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. But no, it's always, well, this person, they have proof, but we got to come up, well, this was such and such years ago, so it shouldn't matter. Why shouldn't it matter? Why shouldn't it? Why shouldn't it? If this is the person's history, you have to be accountable by your fucking history, right? So when you say something ignorant, or you say something racist, or you say something, you're accountable. If I say something wrong, guess what? Well, then I said something wrong. So I don't ever apologize for the shit that I say, whether you agree with me or not. I never apologize for it because that's how I feel. These people don't apologize. That's how they feel. But then to advocate it? I don't ever go that far. Like I said, that's inhumane. Any gamer. You can walk by you can go to a convention and talk to any gamer. It doesn't matter. Male, female, black, white, Puerto Rican, Indian, Asian, doesn't matter. No matter what race. Everyone has something in common because they play video games. And it's, hey, how you doing? How you doing? That's how it is. All walks of life. But you leave it to these people to keep segregating you. Leave it to that. Alright? And you won't have a fucking community. Because community is about togetherness. That's what it's about. And then the community slowly started making all these different genres and then subgenres. I don't like this game, but I like this game. So that means that, this game is better, therefore better than that game. And you argue over what game is better. And there's people on the outside looking at us like y'all are a bunch of fucking idiots. That's what they're looking at you like. Like Colin Cowherd. You don't help yourselves, community, by the way you act. And the industry doesn't help themselves by the way they act. Someone's got to get to a point where it's like, you know what, fuck this. Fuck you for acting this way, and you know what, there should be some consequences. But no. We just keep rolling. I just want to say that I'm embarrassed by the riches that are coming 2 years down the line. This is the shit they say. And you'll still fucking feed into it.